After a week in Dubai, Arsenal are set to return, and with fans desperate for a change of fortunes, all eyes remain on the transfer window. So today we'll discuss a massive opportunity regarding a potential move for Karim Benzema. We'll also break down the future of Mikel alongside a special guest, find out the breaking news regarding Toney, and reveal all the team news ahead of the must-win game against Crystal Palace. Yo, what is going on, guys? My name is Baz14. Welcome back to your boys channel, and I hope you guys are doing sensational and anticipating the return of Arsenal. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Let's start off with Arsenal's fullback targets. Arsenal have a clear issue in their attack. Having only scored 37 goals this season, we would need to average 2.8 goals per game for the rest of the season to equal last year's record-breaking tally of 88 goals scored. But the real concern for Arsenal fans is intensity. Last year, Arsenal were exciting to watch, passing with combinations and purpose. This year, there has been a clear change. As this graphic shows in terms of speed of attack, number 1 is Liverpool, averaging 1.96 meters per second, but Arsenal are in 18th, with only 1.54. Number 20 surprises the most. Man City, the slowest attack in the league. Part of the reason why Arsenal's attack has gotten slower comes down to respect. Well, last year we caught teams by surprise. This year, teams have no choice but to force themselves in a low block. Arsenal being asked different questions, and that's where we need to find different answers. You look at the performances of Gabriel Martinelli this season. He's only had a 2.5 XG all season. It feels like Martinelli needs an overlapping fullback. Not only would it give Arsenal a different dynamic, but it also allow Martinelli to drift in centrally. In terms of targets, we have to go to the Serie A. According to Calcio Mercato, Arsenal plan to offer Alexander Zinchenko or Kieran Tierney, plus an important economical offer in exchange for AC Milan's left-back Theo Hernandez. 26 years of age, a French international thriving for AC Milan, Hernandez would offer a bagload of pace, with 4 goal contributions in his last 4 games. Look at this recent performance against Calgary, an 8.5 rating with 4 clearances and 2 tackles, 5 out of 6 ground balls won, alongside a 93% passing accuracy, 2 key passes and 2 big chances created. Theo Hernandez is the complete fullback, but under contract until 2026, a massive part of Milan's team. Is he going to be available in January? A market that is all about opportunities. There might be one arising in Bayern Munich. According to L'Equipe in France, Rafael Guerreiro could be available, as Saudi club Al Hilal have made contact. They have inquired about a loan with an option to buy. Having only signed for Bayern in the summer on a free transfer for Borussia Dortmund, Guerreiro has only made 3 league starts this season. At 30 years of age with a lot of experience, it's very important for Guerreiro to be playing because of the upcoming Euros, trying to keep his place in the Portugal starting 11. The profile stands out because of his offensive ability. Having scored 4 goals for Borussia Dortmund last season, he also registered a total of 12 assists. You focus on Arsenal's last signings in January, Jorginho and Trossard. Mikel has a clear bias towards experienced players in January. Let's not forget about the right-hand side though. Bukayo Saka needs help and Ben White needs backup. Let's talk about Jeremy Frimpong of Bayer Leverkusen. According to reports, Arsenal are determined to sign Frimpong and plan to activate his £34 million release clause this summer. The player is at the top of Arsenal's list to reinforce their right back, and the club see the release clause as an opportunity they cannot miss. Frimpong is fascinating because of versatility. Even though he's able to play as a right back, this year he's mainly been a right winger, with 5 goals and 6 assists, averaging 1.6 successful dribbles per game. Giving Saka a dynamic overlap could be game-changing, because in an Arsenal team that lacks the profile of a Phil Foden, a silky player able to receive the ball between the lines and drive forwards on a half-turn, Bukayo Saka could be the answer. Look at this example against Sheffield United. Saka is able to receive the ball and swiftly turn first time, then drive the ball into a dangerous area. There have been some fans that have asked the question, could Saka have a future more centrally? Mikel has tried it in the past. You go back to the infamous defeat against Brighton back in 2020. Saka was thriving as a left number 8, with 1 assist, 25 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 3 accurate dribbles and 1 time hitting the post. But what is happening in terms of the outgoings? The future of Cedric Soares is uncertain, and that is because of Besiktas losing their fullback Valentin Rossier, who's received a here we go to Nice. According to reports in Turkey, Besiktas are closing in their deal for Arsenal outcast Cedric Soares. Cedric's contract expires in the summer, so I don't expect a fee, but the wage part is definitely interesting. Earning well over £50,000 a week and not being used, not only would Arsenal be freeing up wage space, but potentially opening up space for a big signing either in January or the summer. But what about the future of Emil Smith-Rowe? Despite making only 1 start all season, according to the Gunner blog, Smith-Rowe is not keen to leave Arsenal. They are his club, and he feels more than good enough to play. At 23 years of age, Smith-Rowe needs to be careful. His stocks are still high enough for him to get a massive transfer, but being comfortable on the Arsenal bench could cost him a massive opportunity. But then it turns to Mikel. With Arsenal needing new solutions, and Smith Rowe's ball carrying profile being unique in the team, where is the trust going to arrive? Let's talk about the midfield incomings. 6'5" Everton powerhouse Amadou Onana is a target for Mikel Arteta, with even the reliable Sacha Tavaleri confirming Onana is keen on a move to Arsenal and things to develop quickly. Arsenal in the Champions League were trying to fight for a title, of course were going to be lucrative. Alongside the fact that Arsenal have also had previous interest and contact with his entourage, Onana strikes me as a very Mikel Arteta midfielder, contesting 145 duels this season and winning 99. A 68% win rate is the highest out of any midfielder in the Premier League this season. The real intriguing thing is his aerial ability. Having won 61% of his aerial duels this season, Onana is the second highest under 21 player in all of Europe. In terms of aerial rating, when you look at the profile of Kai Havertz and why Mikel Arteta starts him, someone able to give David Raya targets, he's not a natural midfielder but Onana is. Able to win his duels and play like a natural midfielder. This strikes me as a Thomas Partey long-term replacement. And as Arsenal fans recently spotted, Onana's agent was actually in London. The concern for Arsenal though is Everton, and are they going to sell? With Jacob Steenberg reporting, Sean Dyche's side are understood to be determined to resist Arsenal's interest in Amadou Onana, but would like to reinforce their midfield, which could be difficult as they are only able to sanction a loan move, given the club's financial issues. Having already been deducted 10 points this season, Everton are struggling massively with FFP, and things could be about to get worse. As Fabrizio Romano breaks, the Premier League are charging Nottingham Forest alongside Everton with breaching financial rules, with Everton potentially facing another point deduction for breaching the profit and sustainability rules. This is where Arsenal might get an opportunity. Everton need money as soon as possible, which could make Onana available. But as Team News and Tick says, Arsenal have liked Onana for a long time and have tried to sign him before, but at the moment the links are all agent talk. No club at all has spoken to Everton about him in this window. Arsenal will also brave from the press they haven't made contact. But if Everton need to make a sale, could there be other players available? One being a certain centre-back. According to Alex Crook, Arsenal are tracking Jarrad Branthwaite's situation at Everton. The Toffees could end up selling the centre-back, as he's one of the most sellable assets. At 21 years of age and his first year of being a starter in the Premier League, Branthwaite has been a massive success, helping Everton keep 6 clean sheets with 1.8 interceptions per game, 2.1 tackles, 6.4 ball recoveries. Branthwaite is a duel winning machine, winning 5.4 per game. He's the second highest defender in all of Europe in terms of under 23 aerial rating, slightly above Arsenal's William Saliba. The only concern I have is the fact that he's left-footed, where Arsenal already have Gabriel Magalhaes and Jakub Kiwior, when it's the right-hand side that Arsenal need the most. Moving on to Mikel Arteta's future. Having last signed a contract in 2022, Mikel Arteta is in the final 18 months of his contract. Fans are wondering what is happening in terms of his future. Well, as Fabrizio Romano says, at the moment Arsenal's priority is to focus on the January window and getting better results on the pitch as soon as possible. There is no news on Arteta, but they are not in a rush. They are very happy together. Arteta loves Arsenal and the club is very happy with him, so there's no rush and all parties are relaxed. But let's just say Mikel's got admirers. As reports in Spain confirm, Barcelona really appreciate Mikel Arteta and would consider hiring him if they decided to sack Xavi. You've had rumours in the past of PSG and now you've got Barcelona. A lot of Arsenal fans love Mikel, but some don't. So let's have an honest conversation alongside my special guest, James B. James, it's time we have a conversation, an honest conversation about Mikel Arteta. The question to you is, what are your obvious concerns with Mikel?
I kind of think he's the man with the solutions. I also feel like he's the man that will stop himself getting to the solutions. Like last season, we played some scintillating football, and you could see that Xhaka, he was the link man. You know, he was receiving it from Zinchenko, he was getting Martinelli in behind, he was running beyond the striker, so Jesus dropping in had a part to play. He was just making things happen. Now, Kai Havertz is struggling to be that, and whoever he puts in that 8 is struggling to be that. So does Arteta recognise those things quick enough? I did a video talking about why Arsenal don't get Martinelli and Saka off the touchlines more. You know, why don't you bring them narrower so that the fullbacks can bomb forward? I see City, who typically play in similar sort of starting systems as us, playing away at Newcastle with Walker and Vardy bombing up and down, and Doku, Bernardo, Foden all drifting central. I think one big concern I have with Arteta is I think he can coach this team and coach a very good team to the title. He really wants to prove that plan A first, and maybe just takes a little too long to get to the next.
Maybe Mikel can add something different to his tactics, but I think he realises that if plan A works and it's the best in the league, it will win you a title over the course of the season.
I do think he's capable of taking things and evolving them and doing something a bit different, but it's also about recognising you've had half a season with this idea and it's not working. That's where I have fears.
If I was to give you this option to make one tactical change for Mikel Arteta, what would it be?
I would get Rice and Jorginho playing. Rice in the 8, Jorginho in the 6. So rather than an inverted fullback, they can be the double pivot in front of the back 3. And I'd let Zinchenko do some overlap shifts. He's actually got a good cross. We don't see enough of it because he doesn't play that kind of role for us. When City were 2-0 down against Villa in the final day of the Premier League season, they needed to turn things around. Zinchenko came on and made a massive difference, either putting it into the box or finding cutbacks to Rodri, who ends up, I think, getting the equaliser for them, or certainly one of them. You do that, you suddenly get Martinelli tucking inside into where our typical left 8 plays, and then they're closer to our striker. You don't have to compromise massively on your principles. Your build-up shape looks the same, but I would just mix things up to try and ask a different question, because I think teams are catching on to what we're doing.
He's approaching the final, I think, 18 months of his contract, and there's rumours about a new deal. If you were head of Arsenal right now, would you offer Mikel Arteta a brand new contract?
These are tough questions. These are really tough questions, Babs. No, I'd give it to the end of the season. Now, people will confuse two things. That's not me saying I'll be in uproar if he's offered a new contract, because as we know in football, you can tear them up. Like, it's not the end of the world. It doesn't tie us to anything, really. Because now he's being tested on the 2 big ones. Forget the cups. We're out of them. He's being judged on what he does between now and the end of the season in the Premier League and the Champions League. I can never go into a season demanding we win trophies. Like, that's what I want. That's my expectation. That's my standard. But in terms of demanding it, there are a lot of other teams that are very good, and things can happen in football. But I always expect us to be extremely competitive. If we're more than 5 points off Man City by the end of the season, so that means not taking it to the final 2 games, that's not really good enough. We always look at it as results and performances. The hierarchy of thinking, are the players happy? Are the players developing? Do we like the targets? Has he put work into certain targets? We hear rumours about Osimhen. What if part of Osimhen joining is that he's convinced by Arteta? Everyone always kind of hates this whole process thing. A good process doesn't lean on Arteta. A good process is, if he's not the guy, then we can move on, and the next person that comes in can pick that up and move with that and build on it and develop it.
There's a lot of contrasting opinions in the Arsenal fan base right now because of the recent results. But if I was to ask you right now, come the end of the year, what do you honestly expect is going to happen at Arsenal? What's your current feeling?
I don't think we're a bad team. I think we've had 3 bad results in a row, but I don't think we're a bad team. I think 2 of them we could easily have won. That's not just if we took that one chance, we'd have won. No. Like, we played well enough to win 2 of those 3 games. So my feeling is we won't win either of the 2, but I actually think we'll go to the wire in the Premier League.
A shout out to James for coming on your boys channel, and if you want anyone else, let me know down below in the comments. But moving on to the other Arsenal news today. Arsenal target Ivan Toney has been in the headlines, having scored a hat-trick, playing for Brentford's B team closing into return. As he confirmed on his Twitter, his suspension is officially over, potentially returning for Brentford over the weekend. There has been an intriguing quote regarding his future, where Toney says it's obvious that he wants to play for a top club. Everyone wants to play for a top club that is fighting for titles. Whether it's this January that is the right time for a club to come in and pay the right money, who knows? I can't help but feel for Brentford here, a team that have backed him through his tough moments. Toney is not hiding the fact that he still wants to leave, and according to reports, Arsenal expect to sign Ivan Toney in the summer if all goes to plan with his comeback in the next 6 months. Arteta is keen to sign a Premier League forward who's English, with the expectation that a few homegrown players will depart in the summer. But Arsenal fans are impatient and they want a forward now. So as David Ornstein says, it wouldn't surprise me if they ended up doing something reactive towards the end of this window, purely because Arsenal are always attentive on the market, and they are short in places. The opportunity that we need to focus on is in Saudi Arabia. Reports confirming that Karim Benzema has not shown up for Al Ittihad, yet to resume the season in 2024. He has missed 3 training sessions before the new year, with manager Gallardo now deciding that he will not travel the squad to Dubai for the camp. With 9 goals and 15 appearances, Benzema has been in decent form. As Julian Aron says, Karim Benzema is exploring his options in the January transfer window, after 6 underwhelming months in Al Ittihad. The Premier League could be an option for Benzema, with multiple clubs including Chelsea showing interest. Here's where you get to Arsenal. According to Fraser Fletcher, Arsenal are considering a blockbuster loan deal for Al Ittihad striker Karim Benzema, although Chelsea have also discussed a move for the player. Arsenal and Karim Benzema have history. You go back all the way to 2013. David Ornstein confirming that Arsenal had talks with Real Madrid duo Benzema and Angel Di Maria. We may have ended up on Mesut Ozil, but even fast forward to 2014, Benzema to Arsenal was a massive rumour. Now at 36 years of age, he may not be in the peak of his powers, but only last year in La Liga, Benzema netted 19 La Liga goals. When you think about Arsenal's young team in the Champions League and a lack of experience, signing a Karim Benzema would be a game changer, with a total of 5 Champions Leagues to his name. A Ballon d'Or winner only in 2022. His wages may be expensive, but on a loan deal for 6 months. Could Karim Benzema help Arsenal win a Premier League title? Arsenal will have a different focus for now, as a massive game approaches against Crystal Palace at the weekend, an early kickoff at the Emirates Stadium. According to Simon Collins, Alexander Zinchenko is pushing hard to be back in time for the weekend, but if he's absent then Jakub Kiwior could continue at left back. You've also got the return of Gabriel Jesus back in full Arsenal training, but the game will be too soon for Thomas Partey, with Sammy Mokbel reporting the clash against Nottingham Forest on January the 30th is being penciled in as a potential return date for Thomas Partey. Here is how I think Arsenal are going to line up, with Raya and goal and a back four of White, Saliba, Gabriel and Kiwior, a midfield of Jorginho, Rice and Odegaard, and a front three of Martinelli, Jesus and Saka. Arteta will need to get the balance on point because this game is must win, especially after Man City beat Newcastle 2-3, moving into second place in the title race 3 points ahead of Arsenal. There seems to be a theme developing, where Arsenal still have fantastic underlying numbers. The second best XG goal difference in the league, above Man City. The issue for Arsenal is a lack of difference makers, where City were able to throw in Kevin De Bruyne against Newcastle, providing a goal and an assist. As Pep Guardiola said, the final third is not tactics, it's talent. Mikel has created a system that can get the ball into the final third. The issue is our players have been too wasteful recently. I want to focus on Martin Odegaard, who since dropping into a deeper role, has created the third highest expected assist in the Premier League. Over the last 3 seasons, Odegaard is the only player to have 150 key passes, 25 big chances created, and an 85% passing accuracy. The real focus should be on the front line. Jesus, Saka and Martinelli have shown their class last season. The pressure is on to regain their form now. It only takes a few wins and Arsenal are back in the conversations. But that is the video there and there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all over social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the latest episode of the Transfers FC. A massive game is arriving against Crystal Palace, and that if Arsenal could win, the confidence could be game changing. So hopefully Arsenal get the job done, and I will see you soon. Take care, in a bit. Peace.